it's like here. That's unnecessary. You also want to make sure, well, let's start with that. Just gently cascading over your shoulder is best. And then what you can do, because you see how fluffy mine is, you don't want that. You want to be able to like pin it down. And you see how that just changed from how flat, how fluffy it was to now it's flatter. So I'm going to pin it down with my one hand, bring all that slack around, and then tighten through the rings. Next, with the top part, we're going to make sure that it's at least 2 fingers worth away from our neck, and then do the same thing we did with the bottom. So I'm going to grab the top, I'm going to flatten it on my shoulder. You see how nice that looks now? And by pinning it, we're basically telling the sling where we want it to stay on us. So now I have a little less movement. And what I'm going to do with the rest of it is kind of open it up and move all the slack from around the back to the front. Look at my shoulder now. See that's different? When you have a newborn, you definitely don't need this much of a pocket. So I'm going to tighten through my rings and just kind of make it right under. I have larger breasts, so you can judge that for yourself. We just want a pocket that's big enough to slip baby in and sit them down. You definitely want that bottom rail to be closer to you. So now that I have that, I'm going to check on my rings. And all this preparation just makes it so much easier when you're actually putting the baby in, because then the only thing you have to worry about is the baby. Preparation makes it so much easier. And you don't have to do this every single time once you figured it out, because you won't have to unthread your sewing. So I'm just going to put my fingers in, move the fabric so it's not jumbled up and bunching over each other too much, right? Now what I like to do, after I make sure that the ends are free, is I take the tail and I'm going to move and kind of accordion fold the tail into my sling. This helps me with threading, helps me to see where any bunches may be that are really big, and I can fix those easily without actually messing with my sling too much. See how that little area right there? I don't want that. I want it nice and open. And again, just gonna accordion fold. Boom. And my sling is pretty broken in. Thank you, Claudia. So I don't have to do too much. You may have to do a little bit more, but once we have a nice even threading, we're good to go. I'm going to start with baby up on my shoulder in the birthing position. I like to keep my hand kind of in the middle of their back because, you know, newborns are wobbly and their legs are fine. I'm going to go under my sling, bring their legs to me, and I'm going to guide them into my sling. With a newborn, if they are comfortable with legs out, you can totally do legs out. It does not affect them. It's not based on age. It's based on comfort. My baby was a stretcher. The day he was born, he was legs out. My goal is to make sure that I get their bum lower than their knees. And with newborns, they're not going to have a very big spread because they're new. So we really just want to get it where that knee is higher than the bum. And you want that on both sides, right? Just knee higher than the bum. And once you have that, now because we did all that work in the forefront, all we got to do is tighten up the sling. So let's do that. I'm going to take the slack from the side, bring it up to the front. You want to bring that slack all the way up. That way, when we tighten, we're barely moving the sling rings. We're just moving the slack. This is the best way to use your sling with a newborn. All right, again, bottom, move the slack, and always pulling across the sling. Hope that helps.